Hello, welcome to the Java Lincoln. So this is the next session on Java interview questions for freshers. So let's get started. So the first question is it possible that the finally block will not be executed? Yes, we can prevent the execution of finally block. Okay, like in this case, we have two ways. We can use system.exit, or there are some fatal errors like stack overflow, memory access error, etc., etc. So in this case, finally block will not be executed. Okay. The next question is, interviewer may ask you that what is the output of this program. Okay, there are some scenarios in which interviewer may ask you. Okay, so these 1 2 3 4 are, these are not the part of the this program. These are just denoting the line number of this program. Okay, so don't confuse with it. These are the just the line number of this program. So you have to tell that what is the output of this program. See, we have declared a class as test class, and inside this test class we have main method, and we have declared a final variable int I, and we are using I is equals to 20. That means we are initializing this, and again we are incrementing the value of I with 20, and again we are using I is equals to j plus 30. That means we are again initializing the value of j plus 30, and last we have printing the value of I and j. So in this case, there will be a compilation error here at line number 7. Why? Because we are modifying the value of I, and I is declared as a final variable. You can see that this is a final variable. So you can assign the value of a final variable which is assigned at line number 5. You can see that I is equals to 20, so it is fine. But if you are modifying to the final variable, then it is not possible in case of Java. Okay, so there will be a compilation error here. Okay, so the next question is, what is super keyword? So super keyword is in Java is a reference variable which is used to refer immediate parent class object. So there are a couple of uses of super keyword here. The first use of the super keyword is super can be used to refer immediate parent class instance variable. So you have some instance variable in your parent class, and you want to use those variables in your child class, then you can use the super keyword. The second use of super keyword is super can be used to invoke immediate parent class method. That means you have some method in your parent class and you want to use those methods in your child class. So that in that case you can also use the super keyword. Okay. The third use of super keyword is super can be used to invoke immediate parent class constructor. Okay, so the third use of super says that if you have a parent class and it has a constructor inside it, so you can invoke that constructor of parent class inside your child class. Okay, so let's try to understand this use of super keyword with an example here. Okay, so let's try to understand the first use of super keyword. So the first use of super keyword is it is used to refer the immediate parent class instance variable. So let's create a class. Let's say we have a class name as shape, and inside this class we have let's say we have a variable name as string color is equals to black. Okay. Now let's have another class. Let's say we have a class name as rectangle. Okay, and it is extending the shape class. Okay, now we have another variable here also, string color is equals to red. Okay, now inside this rectangle class we have a method. Let's say we have a method name as get color, and inside this method we are going to sys out the color variable, and then we are referring to the parent class variable. So we are going to use the super dot color. Okay, rectangle r is equals to rectangle, and then we will invoke the method here. Okay. So what we are doing here, we have created a class and name as shape, which has instance variable as color is equals to black, and we have a child class as rectangle, and which is having a color variable. It has a string variable as color is equals to red. Then we have a method, and inside this method we are displaying the value of color variable of child class. Then we are referring to the color variable of shape class, that is means parent class. Let's execute this program here. Okay, so first it will display the red, that means the child instance variable, and then it will refer to the super instance variable. Okay, so this is the first use of super keyword. Okay, so the next use of super keyword is to refer the immediate parent class method. So in this case, let's say we have a class name as a shape, and inside this shape class, let's say we have a method name as void and get shape, and inside this get shape method we will have a sysout. Let's say inside this sysout we have a string as all shapes. Okay, and inside this rectangle class, which is extending the shape class, let's say we have another method as get shape. Okay, and inside this we have a sysout here, and inside this sysout we can have a rectangle shape. Okay, now we will add one more method here, void get all shapes. Okay, and inside this method we are going to use the super keyword here, super dot get shape and then get shape. Okay, so whenever you are using this, like, so let's say we are going to create an object of rectangle class, and then we are invoking the, let's say, r dot get all shapes. Okay, so here you can see that there's a class shape. Inside this shape class we have a method get shape, and inside a child class rectangle we have a method name as get shape, and another method as get all shape, in which we are referring to the method of super class. So let's execute this program. So you can see that first it will execute all shapes and then rectangle shape. The next use of super keyword is to refer immediate parent class constructor. Okay, so let's create a constructor here inside the shape class. Okay, and inside this shape constructor we are going to sys out, so shape constructor. Okay, and inside the rectangle we are using rectangle, then we're using the super keyword here, and we are sys out rectangle constructor. Okay, so we are going to call the constructor of rectangle only. Okay, so once it execute the new rectangle here, it will go to the constructor of rectangle, and it will first use the super, so it will call the constructor of parent class, then it will print the rectangle constructor. So let's execute this program here. Okay, so first it will go to the shape constructor and then go to the rectangle constructor. And one more thing that we can discuss here. So if you write the super keyword from here to the next line, then it will show you a compilation error, and the compilation error will say the constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. So whenever you are invoking the constructor of the parent class, the invoking of the constructor class using super keyword, it must be the first line in the block. Okay, so in this case the block is this constructor. Okay, so you can write like this, so that there will be no compilation error. Okay. Okay, so the next question is, can the static method be overloaded and can the static method be overridden? Okay, so to the answer of the first question, yes, we can overload two or more static methods in our class, but with different input parameters. And for the next question, that can we override the static method? No, we cannot override the static methods, because the declaration of static methods having the signature can be done in the subclass, but runtime polymorphism cannot take place in such cases, because overriding it happens on the runtimes. Okay, and static methods are loaded at the compile time, so hence these static methods cannot be overridden. The next question is, why is the main method static in Java? See, the static methods are those methods that belongs to the class, not to an individual object. So if the main methods will not be static, then it is available for every object. So JVM call the main method based on the class name itself, not by creating the object. So this is the main entry point of the execution. So that's why JVM picks this main method and executes the logic of that main method. The next question is difference between static method, static variable and static class. See, static method and static variables are those methods and variables that belongs to the class of the variable, not to the object of the class. See, every time whenever you see a static keyword, that means this is belongs to the class only, not to the object. Okay, this get memory where the class loaded, and these can directly be called with the help of class name. Like we can have a static method as max, which is belongs to the math class, and we have a min method which is also a static method which is belongs to math. So we can call these methods using math.max and math.min and so on so on. Now static variables, like we can have a variable of array, that means length, which is a static variable and it belongs to the array. Now moving to the static class cannot be happen, because a class in the Java program cannot be static except if it is a inner class. So inner class can be static. If the inner class is static, then it is treated as the static member of the class. Okay. The next question is, what is the difference between shallow copy and deep copy? So both are used to copy the object's data. In shallow copy, the shallow copy only creates a new reference and points the same objects. That means, let's say we have a class name as a room, and in this class we have two integer variables, length is equals to 5, breadth is equals to 3. So in this case, let's create a new object of the room obj1 is equals to new room. So in this case, let's have another room obj2 is equals to obj1. So in this case, we can see that obj2 is just referring to the obj1 only. Okay. Now the deep copy, in a deep copy we create a new object and copy the old object value to the new object. That means we are copying the value of the object into a new object. Okay, let's say we have another object, room obj3 is equals to new room, and obj3 dot length is equals to obj1 dot length, and obj3 dot breadth is equals to obj1 dot breadth. Okay, so in this case, a new copy of the object obj1 will be created with the name obj3 that will point to a new memory location. Okay, so in this case, the object 3 will point to a new memory location. Whereas in case of shallow copy, the uh, the 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 object will refer to the same object which is residing in the same memory location. Okay, so that's come to the end of this interview session. So hope you will like this session, and if you like this session, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And if you like this channel, please share with your friends, and so that I can improve the channel content, so that it can be beneficial for you. And I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.